First at number 10, lawyer objects own question. During the trial, the most memed people have been Amber Heard's lawyers, who seem incompetent most of the time. This point was basically confirmed in court the other day when one of Heard's lawyers objected to their own question. Attorney Adam Nadelhaft made a huge error while he was asking questions about a fight that left Johnny with a severed finger. While the lawyer was questioning Ben King, Depp's house manager, he said, quote, "You didn't know what could cause damage to Mr. Depp's hand when you were there on March 8th, correct?" the lawyer asked. King then answered the question by stating a doctor told him that Depp sustained an injury to one of his fingers. Then, in an attempt to stop King from continuing his testimony, the lawyer objected, saying, quote, objection, hearsay? For a moment, everyone was confused until the judge stated, quote, "Wait, you asked the question? Next question." Awkward. And at number 9, Depp found poop in their bed. One of the strangest and most baffling things about this case is the fact that someone pooped in Johnny and Amber's bed, and most signs point to Amber. Apparently, after he and Heard had a fight, Depp decided to leave for the night and come back in the morning when he assumed she was not going to be there. However, before he made it back, his maid texted him that there was poop found on his side of the bed, with the maid even including a picture. Johnny then texted Amber about this poop, and she tried to blame it on their dogs. Depp stated their dogs were way too small to produce something that large. Heard kept denying that she had anything to do with it, but Depp is convinced it either came from her or one of her friends. My money's on one of the friends. And at number 8, Johnny Depp painted with blood. A huge part of this case is the incident where Amber allegedly threw a bottle at Johnny and severed his finger. We also learned that after Johnny's finger was cut, he decided to paint using the bloody finger as the brush and paint. Depp alleged that during a fight in Australia in 2015, Heard threw 2 bottles at him, one of which exploded. He claimed it resulted in the tip of his middle finger being cut off. Depp also stated that after the finger was cut, he decided to write on the walls with his blood. Then after it dried, he continued to paint using traditional paint that he had dipped his finger in. Considering Depp did not immediately get treatment for his finger, it's a miracle the doctors were able to reattach most of it. And at number 7, stole lines from the talented Mr. Ripley. Another claim that went wild on social media was that Amber Heard copied the main stories from her testimony from TV shows and movies. At one point, a side-by-side comparison of her transcript compared to the script from the talented Mr. Ripley was posted on Twitter, making it seem like she copied the movie script word for word. But when you actually compare the lines from the movie and what Amber said, you can see that it's not a direct copy like it was claimed. If anything, the storytelling is very similar, but that could just be a coincidence. Depending on what side you're on in this case, you'll probably see what you want to see, but it's not nearly as compelling as the internet made it seem before. And at number 6, Depp trashed hotel rooms. Another shocking revelation from the court documents was that Depp had gotten so angry in the past that he had trashed hotel rooms. Heard's lawyers asked Depp, quote, "You've trashed hotel rooms before simply because you've had a bad couple days and an unpleasant time." Depp then replied, quote, "Correct, I have a couch or 2, yes sir." Depp also agreed that he had expressed himself through destructive measures in the past. Heard's lawyers also pressed him about an earlier quote where he claimed that when men are angry, some will play golf while others will smash hotel rooms, with him clearly being the type that does the latter. Depp replied that he was only joking at this time, and he doesn't believe he's the only person that's broken something while they were frustrated. Halfway at number 5, forces herself to cry. While Amber was on the stand, she was talking about some very traumatic moments in her past and getting somewhat emotional. At some points it looked like she was getting over-emotional in an attempt to make herself cry. For the longest time, it did not work, and she looked like she was in pain trying to get herself to cry for the jury. Many online were joking that it was the best acting performance she'd given in her life. And at number 4, Paul Bettany texts. One of the times that Johnny looked the worst was when his texts between him and Paul Bettany were read to the court. These texts showed Depp letting off steam after a fight with Heard, but saying some pretty horrific things. Heard's lawyer showed texts between WandaVision actor Bettany, including one in which the two joked about ending Heard's life. During his deposition, Depp confirmed that he and Bettany are good friends. Texts from 2013 show the actors joking about how they would kill Heard, claiming that the pair would burn her, then including some nasty comments about making sure she was dead by sleeping with her corpse. Bettany's reps have not responded to the texts, but he has previously expressed that it was embarrassing to have his texts made public when they were used in the UK libel case Depp brought against the Sun, which he lost. Bettany clarified that he, quote, didn't know Johnny when he was married to Heard. And at number 3, Heard copying Depp's outfits. One strange thing that's been noticed during the trial is that Amber seems to copy Johnny's outfits in court. Dr. Shannon Curry took the witness stand and testified that she diagnosed Amber Heard with 2 personality disorders, and one could cause her to mimic her ex-husband Johnny Depp's wardrobe choices. Dr. Curry claimed that Amber's disorder may cause her to, quote, take on the identity of the people they are spending time with because it's comforting. At that point, fans already started to notice that she was copying Depp's outfits, with some believing it's a tactic to intimidate him. Many fans on Twitter are pointing out the strange coincidence, pointing out how Heard will copy the color and style of whatever Depp wears the next day. In at number 2, Milani Cosmetics contradicts Amber. During her trial, Amber's lawyer stated that Amber would walk around with makeup constantly in case she ever needed to cover a bruise that Johnny had given her. In court, the lawyer held up Milani Cosmetics' all-in-one correcting kit while telling the jury how Heard concealed bruises on her face. Although it's important, the lawyer never claimed that Heard used that specific product. During her trial, her lawyer held up the makeup and said, quote, "This is what Amber carried in her purse for the entire relationship with Johnny Depp. She's an actor. Do you honestly think she would have left her apartment ever without makeup? Do you think she would ever have wanted other people to see her bruises and cuts? This is what she used. She became very adept to it." Milani clapped back in a TikTok video showing that the product held up in court was not released until 2017, 1 year after Heard filed for divorce. So there is no way Heard could have been covering bruises with that makeup. A source close to Heard told People, quote, "Heard's lawyer was using an example of the kind of makeup that she used." And finally, number 1, Lily Rose skipped Depp's wedding. During the trial, it was exposed that Depp's daughter, Lily Rose, did not approve of his relationship with Amber. It was so tense that Lily Rose decided not to attend their wedding in February of 2015. In court, Johnny said, quote, "My daughter, Lily Rose, did not come to the wedding. She and Miss Heard were not on particularly great terms for several reasons." Johnny Depp also claimed in court that Amber tried to drive a wedge between him and his kids. Johnny has 2 kids that he shares with ex-partner Vanessa Paradis, Lily Rose, and Jack. When talking about how possessive Amber was, Depp said, quote, "Amber had to have me there at all times for her own needs," also alleging that she would, quote, "tell me what a bad father I was and that I had no idea how to parent." After the allegations came out, Lily Rose publicly defended her father. And at number 10, Heard looks like she's snorting something. While Amber Heard was on the stand, it was pretty emotional, so she had some tissues nearby to dry her tears if she got emotional. At one point, she decided to blow her nose, but she did it in such a strange way that the internet believed she was actually doing something illegal. If you watch the video in slow motion, it looks like Amber uses the tissue to push something into her nose and then she snorts it. It doesn't look like she blows anything into the tissue, which is generally what they're used for. Theories then started brewing that Heard snorted a white substance into her nose, but many felt it was way too much of a stretch. Then a more probable theory started circulating that Amber snorted menthol, which is a common trick that makes actors cry, especially since under the circumstance, crying would help her case in trial. And at number 9, Amber afraid of Johnny Depp. During the shocking trial, the couple have not had any contact. On top of that, the pair also haven't made much eye contact, mostly because Depp refuses to look in Heard's direction. Recently, while Heard was getting off the stand, Johnny was approaching it, and there was an awkward moment where they were about to cross paths. When Heard seemed to notice that it was about to happen, she looked very startled, then walked away from him. Heard looked like she was physically shrinking and terrified. Taking a step back as court officials immediately turned towards Depp and put their hands up, warning him to stay away. To make matters worse, moments before that, Heard had been testifying about Depp assaulting her with a bottle and threatening to take her life. So clearly emotions were running very high. During Heard's testimony, Depp was not paying attention, doodling and writing in a notebook. And at number 8, posed while on the stand. Another moment that's going viral online shows Amber Heard posing for a photo while on the stand. While she was talking about the time in her relationship when Johnny was detoxing, she had a tissue to her face and held it there until she saw the flash of a camera taking a picture. Even crazier, if you watch the whole clip, you can see that she doesn't even use this tissue, making it clear the whole thing was just for show. Body language expert Dr. Lillian Glass agrees, saying, quote, "Yes, she posed for sure. She had no liquid in her eyes or nose, and she never blew her nose, just put the Kleenex to her nose and kept it there. She snuck a peek at the camera to make sure they had the shot." Obviously, things like this do not make Amber Heard look good, and it makes it seem like she's doing everything possible to get good press. And at number 7, crazy video of Depp shown. In one of the videos presented to the court by Amber, you can see Johnny getting very angry while in a fight. In part of the video, Depp yells, quote, "Wanna see crazy? I'll give you effing crazy." While fighting, Depp is seen pouring wine into a glass while yelling about getting crazy. After noticing that Amber is recording, he starts tussling with her, then the video cuts out. When asked if Depp was getting violent in this clip, the lawyer said, quote, "And you would agree that you were violent in that clip, correct?" Depp then replied, "Clearly I was having a bad time," adding, quote, "I did a couple of cabinets, but I did not touch Miss Heard." Depp was then asked if he was intoxicated in the clip. He did not confirm, then later said it was possible. The lawyer then pressed that he most likely was, since he was pouring a glass of wine in the clip. And at number 6, inconsistencies in her story. Since the internet is mostly on Johnny Depp's side in things, after Amber Heard took the stand, the internet immediately started dissecting her testimony. Viral TikToks even show people acting out her retelling of events, and it makes literally no sense. In one TikTok, the audio hears Amber claiming that she was sitting on the edge of a couch, then she says how she was on the floor looking at how dirty the rug is, painting the picture that her version of events makes no sense. A tweet breaking down another event said, quote, "I walked out of the bedroom and he slapped me in the face. I turned around to face him and I said, 'Johnny, you just hit me.'" The user pointed out that you can't be slapped by someone and then turn around to face them. Halfway, number 5, met up after restraining order. After Amber Heard filed for divorce from Johnny Depp, she decided to also get a restraining order to protect herself from him, alleging that he was violent with her in the past. Depp testified in court that in 2016, after Heard filed for the restraining order, she asked to meet up with Depp and talk about things. Although he was confused, he wanted to hear what she had to say, with Depp saying, quote, "I was talked into going there and met with her in hopes that she would retract her lies that the world was now fed. In no way was she ready to do that, and I couldn't understand why I was there. Everything had been taken from me." Depp continued that he felt that she was leading him on and asked him there under false pretenses. And at number 4, ACLU donation. One of the worst cases of Amber Heard lying is in regards to her donations to the ACLU, since it's so easy to get to the truth. During her divorce proceedings, Amber went on record stating that she would donate the proceeds from her divorce to Children's Hospital of LA and the ACLU within 10 years. During the recent trial, the ACLU says that she gave them less than half of her $3.5 million pledge. An executive from the company, Terrence Doherty, said that the nonprofit received 4 donations in Amber's name so far, totaling only $1.3 million. Only $350,000 from her directly. Johnny Depp then wrote a check for $100,000, and Amber Heard asked for that money to be credited to her. The organization also says other payments included $500,000 from a donor-advised fund at Vanguard and $350,000 from a donor-advised fund at Fidelity. The ACLU believes a large portion of this money came from Elon Musk, Heard's former boyfriend. And at number 3, Heard copying Depp's outfits. One strange thing that's been noticed during the trial is that Amber seems to copy Johnny's outfits in court. Dr. Shannon Curry took the witness stand and testified that she diagnosed Amber Heard with 2 personality disorders, one that could cause her to mimic her ex-husband Johnny Depp's wardrobe choices. Dr. Curry claimed that Amber's disorder may cause her to, quote, "take on the identity of the people they are spending time with because it's comforting." This testimony came at an interesting time because fans have been pointing out that Heard seems to copy whatever Depp wears in court. If Johnny wears a gray suit on Tuesday, Amber will show up with a similar gray suit the next day, a clear pattern that has been shown through the trial. Some fans on Twitter wrote, quote, "Amber Heard is playing mind games with Johnny Depp by copying his outfits in court." Another said, quote, "When Johnny wore a gray suit, the next day she wore the same thing. Then he wore a Gucci ensemble and the next day she wore it." And at number 2, hides a water bottle. There might not be anything wrong with this one, but it's definitely strange. So while Amber Heard is in court, she's talking to her lawyers, and then she goes to unscrew a water bottle. Pretty normal stuff. But then one of the courtroom cops comes over and walks by, and for some reason Amber quickly screws the cap back on and hides it in her jacket pocket. This bizarre moment is leading some to believe that the contents of the bottle were definitely not water. The caption on the video read, quote, "Amber Heard and her deeply sus moment in court with her water bottle." And finally, number 1, hid a smile. There have been a few moments in court that have just not seemed to add up. A few involve Amber Heard laughing or hiding a smile either while she is testifying or while Johnny Depp is. A body language expert did an entire 30-minute video on this topic, breaking down one specific moment where Amber Heard's facade cracked, and she showed her true emotion. In the thumbnail he wrote, quote, "One smile exposed her." In the intro clip, we see Johnny recalling a moment with Amber and he says, quote, "It just didn't happen." As the camera pans to Amber, we see a brief smirk that she quickly conceals. The expert notes in the video that he believes she bit the inside of her cheek to conceal the smile. She then blocks her mouth as a reflex to again hide her emotion. The expert continues that it's shocking that she would decide to laugh in that moment when she sees her former partner breaking down on the stand.